In this video, we're going to define the inverse tangent, and of course, you've already seen the sine and cosine videos. So here's the tangent graph, and I graphed it for one period. And the question for you is, does this pass the horizontal line test? It does. So that means we don't have to cut it anymore. So we're going to consider the tangent graph with a domain of negative pi halves to pi halves. And the range is negative infinity to positive infinity. Okay. Now, what happens is that we have a couple of values for tangent. I just chose pi fourths and negative pi fourths because that's always a favorite. Okay. But we want to go ahead and write it as an inverse function, or find the inverse function. So this is, of course, y equals tan x. So to get the inverse, we switch the x's and y's. Can't even see that equal sign, but it's there. Okay, now we want to solve it for y. So it's y equals tan inverse of x. So this one is most similar to sine inverse because of where it has been chopped. So what will happen is we're going to plug in, now typically we plug in a value between -1 and 1, but because the range is everything, you could plug in a value of negative infinity to infinity, and what we expect to get out is an angle, which is between negative pi halves and pi halves. Okay, so for example, if I asked us what's the tan inverse of 1, the tan inverse of 1 is pi fourths. If I asked us the tan inverse of -1, it is negative pi fourths. And we could keep going and going over and over and over again, but there is the basic information about inverse tan. So make sure you pay attention that for inverse tan and inverse sine, it's negative pi halves to pi halves. For inverse cosine, it's 0 to pi. So be careful. All right, that's it.